Hey guys, my name is Kim and welcome to Pick a Card. So for this reading, we'll be looking into finances and career. And this pick a card, like most of my pick a cards, is a timeless reading, meaning there is no specific date or timestamp to these messages. At whatever moment in time you watch this video, these messages apply to you. So to help us get the most important messages in regards to this topic, we'll be looking at both tarot and oracle cards. We're also going to be pulling out hand-drawn charms containing numbers and astrological signs to help us gain specific or important dates. And at the very end, we'll be pulling out notes containing messages for you guys. Okay, so we have 3 groups to choose from. The first group is gold, the second group is copper, and the third group is silver. So please do pause the video if you need to. Take the time to meditate, relax, breathe on it, and whatever color swatch or coin calls out to you, then that will be your group. And I will see you in a bit with your reading. Let's go. Hello and welcome to all those who chose and connected with group 1 gold. Now the color gold, we tend to associate it with abundance and wealth, but for this group I'm sensing it also represents protection as well as shining in your authenticity. Now the coin that was chosen for this group is this one, and the value of this coin is of $1. So I'm not going to get into historical facts in regards to this coin. I'm just going to look at the image and take it as it is. So some of you who chose this group might actually be single parents, or you might feel like you have a lot of responsibility on your plate at this moment. Also, you might tend to feel responsible over others. Now, this form of responsibility has maybe become quite of a burden to you recently. And I say burden because I feel you take it too hard. So whenever you think of this, it might bring some form of anxiety. Also, because of this, there might be some energetical drainage. And there also might be some energetical drainage in regards to your work because maybe there's a lot that's being put on your shoulders. Again, a lot of responsibility. Also, there might be some stress or worry over finances. Now, I'm being pulled to the color yellow here, which reminds me of the honeybee. And we know that the honeybee is a very hard-working creature. So I feel that if you do have financial stability at this moment, you still have this mentality to work very, very hard, because there might be a fear of losing the stability. And so you tend to push yourself even harder. Also, you might tend to push yourself hard because you want to do better than you did before. Let's say than you did last year or you did last month. Like, you expect more of yourself, so you overwork yourself. There's also this feeling of a workaholic energy. You put a lot of your attention, a lot of your energy into work. You tend to overthink about it quite a bit. And I say this because we do have this image of a mother with her child. Now, it doesn't necessarily have to mean a child. It could be something that you birth creatively. So a business, a project, and you feel this great attachment to it. Again, the sense of great responsibility and very protective of it as well. So you worry about it quite a bit. So that's all I'm getting for you guys. Now let's look into the cards. Let's put this over here. So I'm going to be pulling 2 tarot cards, and this is to give us the general energy of this group. So the first card is the Ancestor. And the second card is 4 of Bows, a celebration. Okay, so I asked for 1 card, but 2 fell out. So let's look at the numbers first, because these are pretty good cards. So the number 5 represents change, transformation, and the number 4 speaks of foundations and stability. Now, the number 4 is a great number to have in terms of finances and career because, again, if you're starting an independent project, you want a firm and stern foundation for your business to be long-term, right? So also this could be in terms of finances, a stable financial income. Now for number 5, the Ancestor, whenever I look at this card, it feels like a wake-up call, like awakening, because we see the spiritual creature holding this drum. And also we see these 2 birch trees that create this form of gateway. So it seems like the entrance to a new beginning, right? Leaving something behind to start something new. I'm saying this because I'm also pulled to this crescent moon in the background, which I always see as the ending of a phase or the beginning of a new phase. And again, we were talking about change, and this could be unexpected change, transformation. And I'm saying this because we have celebration next. Look how cheerful they are. And we see this fire in the background, which for me represents creation or creativity, vitality, and passion. And look how high the flames are burning. It's practically creating a ceiling of fire, which is like quite dangerous. But yes, so we have these people celebrating. And I'm also pulled to this food here. So it seems like they're celebrating because they have like collected their harvest, they have reaped their reward, it feels like they have made it through, or will make it through the winter, right? Because they're well provided for at this moment. Now, this seems like for me with the ancestor, a form of ascension, like moving forward. So it could be a promotion, and that's why I feel like you're celebrating here. And you're celebrating with the people who have been on this journey with you. So it might be co-workers, or it might be friends or family that you probably complained to or talked to about this job and how much you wanted this promotion and how hard you've been working for it. And finally you get the news. I'm just seeing someone like they got the news, a phone call or email or something, and they just tell their friends and they're all celebrating because they know how hard you worked for this, and they're finally like, you're finally seeing the rewards of this. You're finally obtaining the abundance of all your hard work. Now this could also be due in terms of a partnership or a collaboration. I say this because we have 2 cups here, and we have these 2 women here, these 2 individuals holding hands and celebrating. So this for me represents partnership, right? So it could be again, a collaboration in a project, in a creative project, or it could be just a business association. And it feels like a breakthrough. You know when they cut the red ribbon to open like a new place? It feels like that, like afterwards, after all the formality and stuff, like you go back home and you party hard with this person because you've done it. Maybe you've worked so hard to collect the money to buy the place, and finally you have it. Because this for me feels like a start. It feels like having the foundation and then building the first floor upon it, or putting the first brick upon that foundation. And it's a huge step. It's a big celebration, and it's telling you that like more is waiting for you. Because see, it's winter here, right? See all these that are back here, these trees, it feels like they're barely growing. So it feels like the representations alluding to all the abundance you will be receiving pretty soon. But it's telling you at this moment, you're still provided for because you already have been reaping your rewards. We see that here, and with the fire, it's like warmth, right? Even through the winter, you'll be warm, you'll be provided for. Also, because I'm seeing number 5 here, and this feeling of a wake-up call. It feels like an ending to some sorts. So I want you to look at your situation. If at your working place you haven't been feeling fulfilled, or you haven't been happy in any way, and you've been doubting whether to, quit your job or change your location or do something different, and maybe you've been asking for that sign. You've been asking for a sign or a reason, or like the last straw. It feels like it will be coming pretty soon. That's like the wake-up call for you. It's like this last straw, maybe somebody says something, does something, and it's like it for you. It's when the drums hit and you're like, you get up and you're like, you know what? I'm done. I'm moving on. And that's when you cross onto the other side, onto this new beginning. And it feels like you come home and you tell them, you know what? I did it. I spoke my mind. I say this because we have the blue here. I'm being pulled to the blue, which reminds me of the throat chakra, speaking your voice. And I said about being authentic, right? And so it feels like that, like, I spoke my mind, I said what I wanted, and it's like that burden that I was speaking about. It's finally lifted. And look how like even their clothes are so light, like they all celebrate with you. They're like, finally, yay, woo. And it feels for you like a new beginning. Like now you can finally be open. Now you can finally try what you always wanted to try. And if it's this, and if you haven't taken that step because you feared maybe not finding another job, or maybe you fear that what you want to do won't give you, or you won't be provided as well as you have been with where you've been now with the work that you've been doing. They're telling you you will be provided for. And if there is an interval time where you have to, let's say, look for a job or start that new business, they're telling you you will be giving the finances, you will be giving the tools. Meanwhile, as you build your business, as you look for that job, don't worry, you will be provided for. And it seems like you will have support as well. Like it seems that at this moment, you might have friends or family that support you, and you will see that support when you take this step, when this change occurs, because they will be there for you and they will celebrate with you, because it seems like your happiness, your your success is also happiness to them. Because see how these women are all carrying bows, except for this one right here. So it seems like this woman right here, this can be you. You've, let's say, gotten the promotion, or you finally taken that step for a new direction. Or maybe your collaboration, something that you've done has gained recognition in some sort. And look at this one person here. And like, that's your bow, right? Your victory here. And look at this person here. Even though they weren't the one to gain that success, they're so happy for you. They're celebrating with you. So like they got your back. This is quite beautiful, because it's not only like having that financial support or that security, but it's also having that support in terms of partnership and in terms of your friends. Like you have really close people around you who really look after you and care for you. Or this might actually be someone that you are looking after or caring for. And they're, as much as you care for them, they care for you as well. So now let's get clarifications. We have mother, we have release, and we have the divine here. Yeah, okay, so we were speaking of change and we have release here. So it feels with the release card here, it's again, releasing something old, releasing something of the past. Now we see that the hands were holding jagged rocks. Now imagine the hands holding these jagged rocks very, very tightly. It hurts, right? So if it was a working situation you were holding on to, right, because it made you feel like you had, even though it was hurting you, you felt like you had substance in your hand, you had something to hold on to, right? So it felt like a form of security, but it wasn't healthy for you. It wasn't making you happy. Again, it was causing you pain, and you were stubbornly holding on to it, or you had fear of letting go, and it feels like finally you're letting go of that which was not helping you in any way. And now you're stepping into that new beginning. Again, it's like something happened or something will be happening that will be the last straw, that will be like, you know what? And, I'm done with this. I am done. I release this to have space in my hand to welcome something better, something new, a bouquet of flowers, perhaps. And so that's what I'm seeing here. This could also, sometimes I see it as seeds, right? And it's finally you planting the seeds. Maybe you've been planning or hoping for this business or this project for a long time, and maybe you've been looking for a partner to do this business with, or just an opportunity, or just the courage to start this, and it feels like finally you're releasing the seeds so they can be planted. And again, I was talking about the trees here, and they can grow into fruitful trees. You're finally releasing them. Yeah, it's like you're finally having the courage to plant your seeds. And with the divine here, this reminds me of like divine feminine energy, and I have it here with the mother as well. I see a lot of divine feminine energy here with the ancestor, with these women, and even in this coin here. And divine feminine energy speaks of creation and creativity, right? It's birthing something. It also speaks of vulnerability, and it's an intuitive energy. It's also receptive, receiving. So with the divine here, I'm seeing the waterfall here. Like the water is finally free to fall. And I'm seeing these flowers here blooming and growing. And we see this tree with like deep roots here. So for me, it's a feeling of abundance. And it's also kind of taking back your power, taking back your sovereignty, and realizing that, again, you have the power, the capability, the courage to plant your seeds, to start this, to be independent. If this is again like a single parent, this is saying you can do this. You can be financially independent and you will be successful, right? Because you are this divine figure. You got it. You got this. And the other could be too, like, if it's something that you've been imagining or creating in your mind, and you've been fearful of actually bringing it into the 3D, like, again, planting your seeds, bringing this to fruition, working on it. They're telling you, do not fear, because again, you will be given the tools. The right people will come towards you to help you on this project, and all will be well. All will be fruitful. And that you also, like, you are a courageous being and you have it in you to make this happen. And with the Mother card here, again, more like feminine energy, I see this as like birthing and creating something because of these eggs, right? These eggs come from the mother. It's something that she birthed. And this could be in terms of like that creative new project or that independent business. It's like you taking care of it, and I'm seeing also being protective over it, because we have like this heavy dark energy here, and we have the mother protecting her eggs from this. So I'm sensing a lot of protective energy here, and I think maybe this is also because we have the divine, and the divine reminds me of like spirit guides or universe. They're telling you they're protecting what you're creating. They're protecting this for you as well. Your creation won't come in harm's way. If this is also because, again, I was talking about single parent, like, look, you're like, I know it's not only like moms, there's also dads, but you're you're that strong mama and papa bear. You're this divine goddess or god figure here, protecting your creation. Feels like earth mother energy here. So this just for me represents change. And also flocking. I'm seeing this like flying to home, flying to what it is that you want. Yeah, like coming back to safety and hope, like leaving this darkness and this heaviness behind. I was also talking about burdensome energy. So if it is an independent project, I feel like they're telling you, release that stress or that worry about this. Release this worry about finances, because they want to tell you and let you know that you will be provided for, all will be well. But if you worry so much about this lack, or even if you're not in that like in a financial struggle at this moment, if all is well, because I do feel like all is good at this moment, they're telling you, do not think of like what if, or what if this happens, or what could happen. Let go of that, because that's only causing anxiety and worry, and it's stressing you out, and it's not good for you at this moment. And if you bring that into your work situation or back with your family, and it's not helping at all. So release that, because really at this moment there's nothing to worry about. All is good. The worries that you're creating, they're all in your mind. It's not like factual things that are happening at this moment. So release and let go. So these last two cards are direct messages from spirit. We have the fish and we have the letter. Yeah, we have number 4 here again, which represents stability. Now with the fish, sometimes I see as either like the fish out of water, right? So it might be in terms of like, if it is a working situation, you might feel like you don't belong at this work anymore, and they're telling you it's because you need to move on forward. And with the letter here, it feels like a letter of resignation, or it could be like a new opportunity, right? A new message coming through. Again, it feels like that wake-up call. Like you're going to be receiving a message or something of that sort that's going to help you make a decision and move forward. This could also be like an acceptance letter, or the promotion, or like, fan mail, or like positive feedback or positive comments. I don't know why I'm sensing this fish like it needs air, though they breathe underwater, but it feels like it's peeking out because it's actually drowning in the water. So it feels like it needs to breathe like from the air. So again, it feels like wherever you are at this moment, other people might feel like it suits you, like this job, because maybe you've been at this job for a really long time, and you become, I don't want to say this is harsh, but you kind of camouflaged in it. Maybe you don't gain much recognition for your work, or you just don't see yourself there anymore, and it's like, oh, you feel like you're drowning in this place, and you just want like fresh air, something new, and yeah, and that's what I feel this calling is, to move on forward. That's why we have release here. And this Mother card also feels like coming back home. And even with the Divine here, it feels like a coming back home, but like coming back home to your authentic self. Because maybe you know, like when you're doing something for a long time, a routine, you kind of get lost for a moment. You don't even know what you're doing anymore, because it's so routine like that you just automatically do it. But your mind is not in it, your heart is not in it, and it feels like you've been swimming aimlessly for a while, and then all of a sudden it's like, you're missing oxygen. You kind of woke up, you got this wake-up call, and now you're like peeking out through the surface, trying to breathe, trying to like escape in a way, or like find something new, because where you are at this moment feels like it's just not it. So I feel like that opportunity is coming in, and it would be a form of a great celebration for you. So I have 2 oracle cards, and this is to represent your energy, your essence in regards to your work or your finances. So we have the cardinal, authenticity, and we have B, partnership. Okay, so the cardinal for me, look at all this red energy here. It reminds me of this fire that we have here, which is passionate, it's creative, it's feeling that vitality all over again. So it feels like breaking free. It is also associated with the root chakra, with grounding. It's that number 4, it's stability. So it feels like this sense of freedom, this sense of breaking free or making a choice or starting new or starting this project brings this passionate energy, like this surge in you. And again, the root chakra, it's like the first chakra, it's the base. So it's like the first color that needs to ignite, the first chakra that needs to activate for the rest to follow. So it really feels like a beginning, and it feels like you're coming back into your power, like singing your authentic song now, because you've spoken up, you've spoken your voice. And with the work, with the bee here, we were talking about that bee in the beginning. It feels like now you're not, because the bee does not work aimlessly. The bee has a purpose, right? To obtain the pollen, to get honey. So in reverse, it feels like for the longest, feel like you've been putting so much work. So much work. And you're like, well, why am I putting so much work in this if I'm not seeing any results? And with the bee energy in reverse here, it feels like you're finally going to stop with this like excessive working in a way, or you're going to come to this realization that you've been putting on so much work in this situation or this thing that's not bringing you happiness, and you're finally moving like forward from this, like you're finally taking flight and moving in a new direction, because it's like facing the other way as well. And it's also like now coming into this feeling of like you put all this work, but now you see that you're gaining your abundance, you're gaining your reward. So that's what I'm getting here. And this is the last message, and this is like an oracle message. This is a message for you to take home. Now this card has 3 messages. This is the Titian. It has 3 messages, as you can see. The first one is in terms to life. So it's go viral, not bacterial. The second is in terms to work. A flattered client is a repeat client. And the third one is in terms to inspiration. Your personality can be as colorful as your canvas. So these are the messages for you guys to take home with you, to sit with it, think about it, ponder, digest it, and see what comes up for you guys. Okay? Go viral, not bacterial. A flattered client is a repeat client. Your personality can be as colorful as your canvas. see a lot of authenticity here. Yeah, so now let's get look into the charms, and whatever falls here in the night sky will be the stars for you guys. So these would be like either specific dates or important dates, like a date where you might get that promotion, or you might get this letter, let's say, something important in terms to your job. So we have 5, we have the number 6, and we have Leo. So Leo season might be quite important for you guys. And we also have 5 and 6. So it might be on the month of June. We have 6 here. Or this might also be a specific date. Yeah, or it might be in 5 months or 6 months or weeks. Yeah, so that's all I have for you guys in terms of the stars. Now let's get a message or a note. So this is either like a motivational message from Spirit. Let's see which one I feel. I'm just going to pluck one out. This is going to be this one for you guys. Grow infinitely, for you are limitless. Yeah, so that's the message for you guys. I hope you enjoyed this reading. I hope it brought some guidance, some clarity. If it did, then please do leave a comment or a like. I really love reading your comments. It makes my day. But yeah, I do offer personal readings. All the information is in the description box below. Thank you so much for watching, and until next moment, bye-bye. Hello and welcome to all those who connected with group 2, Copper. So the color copper, well, it just reminds me of fall and autumn. It also for some reason reminds me of detoxification and clearance. Now for this group, I'm sensing a form of partnership or some like an arrival, but an arrival in terms of like a person, either like a person is coming in to help you in some way, to bring support, or it could be a form of collaboration or partnership, which I also got for group number 1. And I also say this because the coin for this group is 2 pesos. So this is from, I believe this coin is from Colombia. Yeah, so I'm getting that this person that might be coming in might be from another background, ethnicity. I feel like they're coming in from far away, international. Now it might be a male figure who's coming in to help you, or it just might be someone who really expresses this masculine energy, which is like a hard worker, loyal, and also a protector. And two for me represents like union and partnership. It also represents balance. And this is the only one. I know I drew the same image for all of them, but it's calling out to me, and it seems like a hug, like a partnership of sorts, like coming together and making this whole. Not because you're half of each other, but it's just like whatever you create together would be like this whole piece. Like you put a part of yourself in it, the other person puts a part of themselves in it, and you create this whole. Yeah, so that's what I'm getting here. But now let's look at the cards. Oh, okay. So I asked for 1 tarot card to represent the general energy of this group. So let's see what is for you guys. 8 of Vessels, rebirth in reverse. Okay. So that's good. The 8 of Vessels is the 8 of Cups in the traditional tarot. And this speaks of letting go of something, of moving on. Now, I do remember that in the traditional tarot, there is this man who is looking at his cups, right? At his spilled cups. And it feels like he's contemplating whether to move forward or not. So with this being in reverse, I'm seeing like you finally made the decision to move forward. I feel like you've been contemplating about something in terms, it could be, again, it feels like a message like in group number 1. It could be like contemplating in terms of leaving a partnership, leaving a work situation. Even when I say partnership, it doesn't necessarily have to be just like a business partnership, but it can either be like a marriage or a romantic partnership, and you finally have decided to leave it. Now, why this has to do in terms of finances and career, because sometimes we tend to like stick to partnerships or marriages because we fear of how we're going to survive on our own, because maybe we become accustomed or we become financially dependent on our partner in a way, or our partner has become financially dependent on us, right? And there's this fear of like, maybe we don't want to leave them alone because we don't see how they can make it out on their own. But finally, it seems like you've made this decision to finally move forward. And you know what? With all of these cups being represented here, it might not only be one person, it might be a lot of people that maybe you have been providing for, or that they've been helping you in a way. So if it's not just like a relationship with just two people, it could just be like you've been at home with your family for a long time, and it's like maybe even moving out or being independent in that way. You've been kind of scared because you feel like you haven't had the resources or the finances, or you've never done it, right? It's like a new venture, and it's finally like, oh, okay, I can be independent on my own. Like, I don't have to depend on other people. You know, I'm also whole on my own. I'm also an independent cup, because cups, I usually see them as representing like individuals or bodies, because again, like I've said a lot of times in my readings, our bodies are like cups. They're vessels, right? Like vessels contain water, our bodies contain our energy. And so it's like this recognition of sovereignty and of your own being. And it's finally moving forward. And it's beautiful because we have the river here, and it's like a free-flowing river. So it's like opening yourself, opening up to your own abundance, to your own freedom. And it's this sense of exploring. Now you're not so restricted. Now you can move wherever the current takes you. And it feels like that step forward in a way, like a release. Also, it might be like you releasing people or situations that might have been financially dependent on you. It's finally you releasing them, releasing these forms of attachments to them, or the attachments that they have towards you, and you finding your own freedom. It's like finally, because you see how all these cups are pouring into this one cup, and I'm seeing this one cup represented as you, and then you are pouring to these little cups over here. So it's like you've been fed, and then you're feeding many others, and it's a continuous cycle. And it's like, even we have the chains being represented here. You've been hooked on this cycle for so long, and then finally it's like you pour yourself completely out. Like the cup, like either one of these chains break and the cup spills and you fall into the river, and it's like you finally break free of this cycle, of this attachment, of these form of chains. Yeah, it sounds a little weird, but let's look at the clarifiers, the other cards, and I can't seem to get them. Okay, so we have mystery, no wonder, because I'm like, it sounds a little weird. We have mother, okay, and then I remember these three cards fell out together. So we have the magician, we have balance, and we have the star. Okay, so mystery. Yes, the situation seems quite mysterious. Well, for me, in my side, seems quite mysterious. But I feel the mystery card, what it denotes here, because we said this came out in reverse, so it seems like you're finally moving away from this. You finally decided to break free. Because again, if it were upright, I would see a contemplation. Still thinking about staying, still feeling like this is not working out, but you're really not making a decision to break free or to move on forward. Now with the mystery card, we have this canoe and we have this tree. And I want you to see that all of this is an illusion, because the tree, we see that it's rooted, but it's not rooted on ground. It's on this canoe that's on water, right? So this tree will not forever be on this spot. Whenever the wind decides to take it, it would just flow out of the way. And with the moon being represented in the background, the moon for me represents the subconscious. It represents also clarity, right? Because it's going and diving deep into your subconscious to obtain the truth. And with the tree here blocking the moon is this sense of either not having that clarity, or of being blocked by illusions, by lies, or by this illusion of stability. Again, because this tree is not grounded on earth. So it's not stable, it's not firm. It will move away whenever it decides to. But right now it's kind of like pretending to be something long term when it isn't. You get what I mean? And it's blocking your truth. Also, the full moon speaks of intuition. So it feels like this has been blocking your intuition for some time. Because either this tree came in here fully grown, right? So again, it might be a person, a partnership, a relationship, a family union of sorts that really has been portrayed as a form of stability to you. But again, maybe you thought that this was going to be long term because that's how it appeared. But with the mystery card is telling you it's not really, it's not grounded. So this idea or this illusion of stability will soon dissipate, right? Or this could also be that you've put in the soil, like a seed that you put. It could be an idea, a mentality, and it has grown for some time because you have fed it, because you really wanted to believe in this. Or this idea, again, that you couldn't be financially independent, or you really couldn't go on your own because maybe you feared that you wouldn't succeed, that you couldn't take care of yourself, or maybe the people you were taking care of, you felt like you couldn't leave them or like giving them the chance to go out there on their own because you fear that they maybe didn't have I wouldn't say the potential, but it's just maybe you fear that they wouldn't be provided for, and so you continue to help them. But it only fed this kind of like stagnation here. It wasn't really growth, because we see how it's even like these are the same waters that are being fed over and over again. So there's nothing new. There's no freshness here. The cups are not moving. They're all stuck here in this cycle. So maybe that was the mentality you were holding on to. And it's finally kind of releasing from that, moving forward from this. I see that you're soon coming to this realization. And it's like you've made the choice, but you still have this fear. And I feel like, because, I'm sorry, going back and forth. But look, we have the mother card here, the mother energy. Now with this card, I'm feeling overprotectiveness. Like, you know what they say, like the helicopter mom? She's being really overprotective over her eggs, right? Because we see this darkness here. And I'm seeing this darkness as all the what ifs, the possibilities. Like, oh, I can't let my child out outside, or I can't let him play outside because what if he falls? What if he gets sick? What if this happens? What if that happens? No, I have to keep him indoors. I have to keep him with me. He has to be under my wings at all times, right? Because he's still this little egg. He's still so fragile. And maybe you had that mentality and continued on. And it doesn't necessarily have to be like a mother-child relationship. It could also be, like I said, a romantic partnership, or it could just be like a sibling, or it could be in terms of like a business partnership as well, or it could be this attachment to your business. This message feels very similar to group number 1, and it seems like this overprotective energy, and it feels like this decision to kind of cut away, or to release, or to stop becoming like an umbrella or a shadow over this is very difficult and very hard. To release this mentality seems difficult to you, because we still have the mystery card upright. So it still seems that there's these thoughts prevailing, even though that maybe you might be taking some steps forward to create a change. But look, these 3 cards fell out together, and they are all wonderful cards. We have the Magician. The Magician speaks of manifestation. The Magician in the traditional tarot is the number 1 card. Number 1 speaks of new beginnings. We have the infinity symbol being portrayed here. Sorry, helicopter. Which speaks of infinite potential, which we have number 8 here, which reminds me of the infinity symbol. Speaks of limitlessness. And this is that. It's like discovering you have the magic, you have the power, you are an independent individual. You can do this because you have all the tools necessary to create the life that you want to live. And you have all the tools necessary to survive, to make it through. We have the sun shining here in the background. We have these 2 trees here. This reminds me a lot of group 1 for some reason. We have these 2 trees here, which for me represents like a gateway or a portal, an archway, a form of protection, a form of victory. Like this man is like throwing the wand up in the air. Like, yes, I have the power. I did it. I feel like he's been climbing up the mountain and he's finally reached that mountaintop. It's like, yes, I did it. Now I can put my flag on here, mark my spot. And so they're telling you if it's a worry for your own that you will make it, you will, because you're the Magician. With the Balance card, we were speaking about this tree being an illusion because it wasn't grounded on firm ground. It's on this canoe. And look, the Balance card, it's you being a tree. So it's you, it's not being dependent on another person, but it's realizing that you yourself, you can count on yourself because you yourself are a tree. You yourself are your own pillar. Look, it's grounding yourself. It's finding your roots. And when I say roots, it's like finding yourself, finding your power, finding your magic. It's like this was hidden. The Magician was hidden. It was like in these roots. And it's like you finally come to this realization that you're this magician, that you have this magic within you, that you had it in you all along to make it on your own, to make your dreams come true. Because I see these birds as dreams or wishes. And it's like you built your foundation, you found your roots, and you began to grow on your own to finally reach your goals and your dreams, your ambitions. Now, this is beautiful because a tree that's firmly, deeply rooted is a tree that has found its own resources, right? Trees that you don't see, they have like the roots on the top of the surface. It's because they've dug way deep underground to find a source of water. So those trees are usually the trees that people don't water on the surface. Right? So because they're not being fed by another person, because they're not being dependent that someone else will water them, they have to find their own source of water. So their roots dig inwards instead of like up on the surface. They dig deep into the earth. And so they don't depend on anybody else because they found their source of water. They dug deep into the soil, into the darkness to find their own source of water, and they grow fruitfully and beautifully on their own. And this is you. You will do this. You can do this. We have the star here. We have the star. Now, the star usually represents like wish fulfillments. And I'm seeing this like dreams, reaching your dreams, making your wishes come true. Even with the Magician speaks of manifestations. These are all wonderful cards. And it's all like up in the sky. You see, we have the leaves being here, up. We have the birds up in the sky. We have the stars that are in the sky. It's like there's no limit to you. If you felt limited before, they're telling you you're limitless. What are you talking about? And the star, I was saying, it speaks of wish fulfillment, but here I'm seeing it like you're the star. You're this bright star. Now you're shining bright. And it's like if it also was like someone that walked away from you, again, like we were talking about that, if it was someone that you saw as your stability, as your firm ground, and they walked away from you, let's say if it was a family situation and the one who was the head of the household stepped away, and you're like, and the whole family feels now like they're, oh, now that our foundation, our pillar has left, what are we going to do? You yourself, it's like you don't wait for someone else to come rescue you. You realize that you have the power to move on forward, come up on top, and rescue yourself. And it's like I'm seeing this as you become an example for all these other stars here. Like they're like little dots here because they feel so insecure. But then you start shining bright because you start remembering your magic, your power. And then your light, just illuminating your light, just being like, yes, we can, we will. Then it's like reminds all these other stars of their own magic, their own power, and then they start shining brighter and brighter and brighter because you are all stars. That's what I'm seeing here. You become an example in a way. And it's not like you become like successful overnight or you become super rich. No, it's just standing in your power, reclaiming your power and being like, you know what? There's no need to be dependent of others because we can make it on our own because we have it in us. Because we're powerful. Yeah, I'm reminded of the strength card of the lion for some reason. Yeah, and it's like, see how we have ice here? And the waterfall now is freely falling. It's like I'm not even seeing like the ice melt. It's like you break the ice, you explode it because you were frozen in and you exploded, and like the water now falls freely because you are abundant. You are this free flowing waterfall. You are divinity. I always think of water as like connected to the divine. And they're telling you, look, this is just success for me, and this is just reclaiming your power. This speaks of sovereignty, of magic, of letting go of old illusions. The sun speaks of like truth being revealed. We have darkness here, and here, but look here, the brightness here, and with the stars is like brightness. Yeah, so that's what I'm sensing here with these ones. And it's like if it's in reverse, so if it's like you were worried to let these people go because you felt like they depended on you, they're telling you it's okay. They will be okay. They will find their ground and they will grow beautifully. And in that, they will know what it is that they want for themselves. They will finally realize their dreams and what they want to do, and they will shine bright. And I'm seeing like a lot of people, and look, they will make it out on their own. It will be a help in some way, because keeping them trapped here, making them feel like they can't do it on their own, it's keeping them in this egg stage. It's not letting them hatch. They need to hatch. The bird needs to fly free. It's not just throwing them out in the curb, right? But it's giving them that freedom. It's letting them recognize that they have wings of their own, that they are birds, that they're not just these eggs, that they are birds and that they can fly as well. And I'm seeing this also, like you being either a proud parent or a proud, like, of seeing them like finally fly, like seeing these birds finally taking flight. So that's what I'm sensing here. Now, let's look at one card, and this is direct message from Spirit. We have the ring, which talks about commitment, partnerships, and promises. And then this is the Queen of Cups. The Queen of Cups just reminds me of a mother figure. It's a figure that is very connected to divine feminine energy, connected to emotions, very nurturing, very intuitive as well, which we were talking about having a blocked intuition here. And we do have a mother figure being represented here. And I was talking about partnership in the beginning. If you've been thinking about letting go of an old partnership, and you've been scared that you won't find a new form of commitment, I think with this ring they're telling you there is a promise, a better promise, a more stable promise awaiting for you in the future. If it's a business partnership as well, this will be a more like stable and loyal partnership. Like you both will have the same goal in mind, because we have balance here, the Magician and the Star. It's like success to me here. But now I'm gonna pull 2 cards, and this is to represent your energy in regards to your work and your finances. And we have the Owl, which is transformation. Ooh. Yeah, the 8 of Cups here also can speak of transformation, because it's letting go of the old situations and moving on to something new. Now the owl for me is a very spiritual creature, and I love how all of these colors are represented here, because it reminds me of like the Magician. Realizing you have all these colors, realizing you have all these infinite potential in you. Now the owl is a very observant, it's a very logical creature. but it's also very wise. It follows its inner wisdom. It follows this intuition. And I see you finally like doing that, like following your intuition, discovering your magic, and not backing out. It's like independent, because owls usually you see them flying solo. And you know what I'm seeing with the ring? Like, you're the one who's gonna choose your partner now. Like, that relationship or that business partnership now, you're the one who's gonna be handing the ring, right? So you're the one who's gonna be giving the offer. You're not gonna wait for an offer. You're the one who's gonna be giving the offer, because it's when you decide to. Because at this moment, I feel like for a while you're gonna be running solo, or you have been running solo for a moment, and it feels like when you start realizing like your own potential. And it doesn't mean that you will be like financially successful or like rich when you start to realize like, yeah, I'm boss. No, it's just this knowing that you are, because you are. Look, you're this magical creature. And it's finally, you're like, you know what? I'm gonna choose who I'm gonna associate with. I'm gonna be the one offering the ring. And if they accept it or they don't accept it, that's cool. That's cool, because you can move on forward. Because you know what you're made of and what you have to offer. Yeah. So it says, ooh, owl often arrives prior to significant life events. A resolute harbinger of transformation, she offers sturdy connection to the primordial universe and the tethered energies that bind us. Opening doors of contemplation, she encourages us to look beyond illusion and spurs us toward growth. As we explore the magic of life, we find capacity. The memory of our experiences are molded into pillars of wisdom. She reminds us to listen closely, imparting discernment when needed and reassurance in the midst of confusion. So one more card is this oracle card. Now this contains 3 different messages. One in regards to life, the other work, and the last one is inspiration. So the first one is go far to go far. Second is exaggerate the subtle, share the unseen. And the third is only an outsider sees inward. And Paul Gauguin, I can't pronounce it, I'm sorry, is the name of the artist that this was inspired by. So these are messages for you to contemplate, meditate on, and see what comes forward for you guys. Go far to go far. Exaggerate the subtle. Share the unseen. Only an outsider sees inward. Okay, so those are the messages from the cards for you guys. And now let's pull some charms to get specific or important dates. And that's it. So we have the letter M and A, but there's also numbers in the back. We have 5 and we have 4 and we have Virgo. So the time of Virgo might be significant for you, or these months or dates might be significant, or we might be talking about like a change of sorts will be occurring during, like, I'm seeing it more of like 5 to 4 months or 4 to 5 months. Yeah, so that's all the messages here for dates. Oh yeah, and now let's pull the notes to see what Spirit has to say for you guys. This is like for like motivational messages or an important message you guys need to hear at this moment. Ooh, we have a star. Oh, we are always connected. Okay, so that's all I have for you guys. I hope you enjoyed this reading. I hope it resonated. If it did, please leave a like or a comment. I do love looking at you guys' comment. If you wish to have a personal reading, all the information is in the description box down below. Thank you so much for watching, and until the next moment. Hello to all those who chose and connected with Group 3 Silver. So firstly, what I'm getting from the color silver, I'm getting this feeling of stripping back layers, of just like revealing something, like it feels like a harsh truth. And the coin that was chosen for this one is an old coin, and it's the value of this coin is $1. And 1 for me represents new beginnings, and we do have the eagle being represented here in the back of this coin. And this is the only one that has liberty and just like big font here. So it feels like a sense of independence and like breaking free. Like it feels like that, like peeling back a layer and just finding a sense of freedom. Now I know this is in terms of finances and career, and for some reason all the other readings have been pretty similar in terms of like finding like some form of financial independence or breaking free. Now for this one, it feels like if you've been part of a major corporation or a major business, or let's say an artist who's been part of an agency or under a contract, and it just feels like you haven't been able to express yourself creatively, or you feel like your freedom has kind of been stripped away or taken from you, and what once was a form of creative passion has now just become work or business, and it's kind of taking inspiration away from you, and it's like I'm feeling like sucking the spirit or the soul out of you. I feel like now it seems like the breakthrough, now like it seems like you're peeling back and you're reclaiming back your freedom, your independence, you're reclaiming back your creative project or your authority over what you create. And you're breaking free of like this business mind. It's just like finding freedom. But let's look at the cards. It feels a bit heavier than the other ones for some reason. So I asked for 1 card to represent the general energy of this group, but 2 cards fell out. So let's look at them. Yeah, we have 3 of arrows, jealousy in reverse, and we have the pole star in reverse. Okay. So the 3 of arrows for me speaks of heartache, it speaks of pain, and it also, it was like that heavy energy I was feeling trapped in a sense. I'm saying this because I want you to notice this heart here. It's made of the tree that it's hanging on. But if I were to say this is you, right, in a sense, I would say that you are the tree. This is not your heart, because your heart is within this tree, right? This is just like something else, like something that was built out or made outside of you, carved outside of you. So again, it feels like something that you gave. It feels like a creative project or something that you created from you was given away and then overused. And because we're talking about finances and career, it could be a form of project, and that at some point it was taken out of your hands. And I felt like this gush of wind all of a sudden coming from a weird direction. But yeah, like it got taken out of your hands. And that's why I'm seeing, like, we see so much pain here with the arrows and with the fire burning this wood away. But with the fire being represented here, it feels like clearance. Now with it coming in reverse, it feels like moving away from that. There's still this pain, there's still this heartache, but it's like this heartache from the past, because it's no longer going to be part of your present or your future, because you're moving away from it. So I'm not going to say that this feeling of heaviness, this feeling of pain is going to dissipate or like fade from one day to the other, because the energy is still here. But what I'm saying is that no more wounds will be delivered to you, because you have moved away from this space. Like, you have cut this heart away and put it down, and you're moving away from it. You see what I'm saying? And with the number 3 here, it represents, again, it's a creative number. It speaks about creation. It's also about the mind, the body, and the spirit. And we have the pole star here. Now this is the star card in the traditional tarot. Now look at this card. I always see it as, I used to see it, I realize now that it's the back of the man, but I always used to see it as a man coming from like the darkness, from these woods, and finally coming through this space where he can finally see the sky. And he sees the stars, and he sees the North Star, the pole star. And it's like he finds direction, and then he's able to move forward. And look at these stars, how they're all rotating around the pole star. I see this as spirit guides, as your angels that have been watching over you. Like they have been leading you to this place here, because this is your clarity, this is your guidance. It's like, again, it's this feeling of freedom and independence. It's like you've been walking on this path, on this journey, and you've been, because of the heavy canopies here, you haven't been able to see the light for so long. You've been in darkness. But you've not been in complete darkness, because look, this man is even like emitting this aura. This is you. It's like you yourself are this North Star. You're the star. Like you have the light within you. You don't need this wherever you feel like you've been holding on to, because maybe that's why you have the heart hanging here, because if you've been holding on to an agency or a corporation or a business because you feel that that's the only way you can reach success, or that's the only way that you can put your work, your art out there, it's telling you no, because you carry the light within you. All that you need is what you already have. You are this tree. You're the one who gives the abundance, not the other way around. And with this, it's like finally reclaiming your freedom. And I feel like you're coming into this knowing or this awareness of this. Either this path that you've been walking on, it's been quite difficult. The journey seems like it's been quite heavy, quite difficult. But it has been preparing you for this moment, because it's kind of like made you resilient in a way. Because now you know, let's say, whatever business you're pursuing, if it's like, let's say, arts or being a singer, being an artist, now you know how it is to be like in front of a camera, or how it is to be managed by other people or by an agency. Now you know the people who are playing in this field. So now you're prepared for it. You've become resilient because you've been hit several times, right? Maybe you've been backstabbed, you've been betrayed in this business several times. Now you're ready. Now you know. Now you won't be fooled again. And it's like preparing you now to go on this solo journey. Am I making sense? So it's now you becoming independent. But you had to go through this, or had to feel like you had to be dependent of these people or this business, but it's because you needed this preparation for now your solo journey. And it's coming in reverse, because I feel there's still some sense of unclarity, or like starting this new venture on your own, or beginning that, like preparing your foundations and building your own empire is gonna take a while. Because I'm gonna be honest with you, it feels like starting from scratch. That's why I was seeing like this feeling of peeling away, because it does feel like you're starting from scratch. And it might feel like something horrible to say, because you're like, but I've worked so hard already. I've already put so much and went through so much. What do you mean I have to start from scratch? But it's because you're starting on a new, complete journey. And this journey is gonna be for you and of you. You're the one who's gonna be shining and beaming through. So all the people, because I'm also seeing this like fans or people, will be circulating around you, because you're gonna be the one who is gonna be making the choices. You won't be controlled or feel like you're being controlled any longer. Your heart, your creativity won't be put on hold or encased any longer for something else. So now let's look at the clarifiers. So we have we have joy. We have blind in reverse. We have intuition, and we have time. Oh, yes. When I was shuffling this for this group, the cards wouldn't fall out. It was taking a while and they wouldn't fall out. And And then for some reason I thought of like DIY, like do it yourself in my mind, and then the cards fell out. Just like that. So with the do it yourself, I think that's the message. Do it yourself now. Don't depend on others anymore. You can do it yourself because you've been prepared for it. You know how this business goes down. You can do it better now. And to prove this to you, we have the joy card here. Sun for me represents being in the spotlight. The sun is the brightest star in the sky. It's so bright that it creates day. Because remember, the sky, it's always dark. It's always dark. And it's only day, it's only bright because the sun makes it so. You are the sun. You're the brightest star. Don't doubt it. I always see this as a magician as well, like carrying his wand. You have the power in you. All you have to do is believe it first. You've been through it. I can see it. You've been through it. I see it here even with the blind in reverse. I feel like whoever it was, they made you feel like you didn't know better. Like you just didn't know. But this is placed in reverse for you, because now you're like taking off the blindfold, you're putting the hands down because you know better now. You're not useless in this field. Like your vision, I'm also seeing this as like your vision. They might have shut it down, or it might have been shut down, and Spirit is telling you your vision is beautiful. You had a vision and it's true because it speaks to you, because we have the intuition card upright. This speaks of an inner knowing, following your intuition, following your heart, following your truth. And so look, once you follow it, your intuition, this will be upright, and you will be led, because it's like that clarity. It's like anyone else outside who doesn't know, who hasn't reached a spot, who hasn't received the messages from this North Star, they would second guess why you're doing this or where you're going. But it's okay because they don't know. You're the one who's received the message and the information. You know. You have a plan. You have an idea. Follow it. You're not blind. And we have time here. Now, I was just going to take these cards, but something pulled me to shuffle again, and this card flew out. This for me speaks of divine timing. And it's so reminiscent to this card, the pole star. Because again, when you're in the woods, you feel like you're lost, you feel like you're wandering, you don't know where you're going. But this divine timing is telling me it all has a purpose. You've never been lost and you've never been wandering, because all this has led you to this spot right here, to this moment, to have this clarity, to receive this information, to receive this knowing, this knowledge, to open yourself to your intuition, so that now you can walk forward into your own path. Because it's just been preparation for you to shine in your brightest authenticity, to shine your brightest light. So this journey that's felt treacherous, it's only been one journey. Now you're starting the other one, but it will be yours. It will be from you. People won't be making decisions for you any longer, because now your eyes will be open, your intuition. I'm also seeing, since we have these two together, I'm seeing this as opening up to your intuition. Not seeing only with the physical eyes, but seeing through your intuition as well. You will see through the bullshit, in other words. Now let me pull one more card, and this is a direct message from Spirit. Yeah. The flowers, the bouquet, and this is the 10 of Cups. I got chills. This is the 10 of Cups. This is abundance. This is complete and utter abundance and fulfillment. But water cups represents emotions. For me, it represents creativity as well, and intuition. Because creators, I feel most of their work, if not all their work, when they open themselves to intuition, they open themselves to the divine, to their higher self, that's where they gain the most creative ideas, because it's just flowing energy coming in right from Spirit, from the divine. That's when they have like the most deeper messages to deliver. And that's what I'm seeing here. It's like now you're completely opening up to that. And number 7 is the beautiful number. It's a number of luck. It's a number of abundance. And I feel like it's like creative as well. Like it's just spiritual. And the bouquet, it's like, I'm seeing it as like either given to you as rewards, you know, like after like plays or operas, you know, when they go backstage, they give them to the singers, to the actors or actresses, they give them that bouquet of flowers, or they throw flowers to them on stage. And it's like you will be receiving that, but also like from the universe, like I said, congratulations. But they're telling you they're not telling you success is gonna reach you overnight. It's gonna take a while, but it will come. Everything will be placed for you. All the pieces will fall into place for you in time. So all the things to get you where you desire to be, to finally reach this 10 of Cups, will fall into place accordingly. Just like you came to this place here, trust that you'll get to those 10 of Cups. But it feels like freedom here. Finally. So I asked for one oracle card, and this is to represent your energy towards your work or towards your finances. And we have the Lion in reverse. Leadership. Okay. Now, all these cards came out in reverse. And just because they come in reverse doesn't mean like, oh, that means that the energy is not there. No, because the cards came out here. They want to be here. So the energy is here. In reverse, it's either you're letting go of something or something is being blocked. But the Lion card being in reverse, again, it's like you're walking up the mountain to the realization of your own sovereignty, of your own intuition, of your own independence. Now, the Lion, we had it here, speaks about leadership. Taking that leadership role. Being the leader of your own life. The Lion doesn't work for others. The Lion is provided for. And the Lion is patient. Oh my God, is the Lion patient? Because it knows that at the end of the day, what it needs will be given to him. He doesn't need to go scavenge or hunt or go frantic. Because he trusts that he will be fed. He trusts that he will be provided for, because he always is. And we have these colors, orange, which reminds me of the sacral chakra, which speaks of that self-identity, of that self-empowerment. We have the color blue here, which is related to the throat chakra. It's speaking your voice, speaking your truth, making yourself heard. And then we have green here, which speaks of the heart chakra, which is opening yourself to your vulnerability, opening yourself to your truth, to your creative gifts. Is being authentic and not shying away from it, or not letting anybody put a cap on it, because that creativeness that you have in you, it's limitless. Now, I remember that in the Strength card, we always have the infinity symbol here. It's the Lion, and we have an infinity symbol crowning the Lion. And that's, again, infiniteness, infinite potential. Now, I'm noticing that we also have this black here, and I feel it's this residue of feeling like you're trapped in a way, or feeling like you don't have it in you to make it on your own, or you need to be dependent of other people. But here it's coming, it's finally, we still have it in reverse, so it's gonna take some time, because again, these wounds, it's gonna take some time for them to heal, and they're still gonna be there, right? Every time you look at the past, you're gonna feel that pain, but as you start creating distance, then this will become lessened and lessened as you move forward. And this is your energy. This is your energy in terms of your career. You're the Lion. So we have Lion embodies qualities of leadership, courage, assertiveness, and personal strength. His bravery serves as an example of the fortitude needed to navigate deeply emotional and personal struggles. Often a driving catalyst for change, Lion empowers us to lead. With quiet presence, he bolsters his pride. Wise and noble, he owns his weaknesses, reminding us of our interconnectedness. He encourages us to use our power in service to others rather than in domination. Yes, I think that you went through this and you associated with these, or like had to meet these type of people to kind of gain this humbleness, or to realize the type of person that you don't want to be. Like sometimes it helps us to realize what we don't want to know what we do want, right? And so that whenever you reach that form of like, I wouldn't say height, but like authoritiveness, or become a leader, you won't use that leadership for control or manipulation, because you already been through it. You already know what it feels like to be on the other side. Because we have 2 bright stars here. That speaks of like recognition. Yeah, but again, I'm not saying it's gonna be overnight. It's gonna take a while, but you need to keep following your intuition. And there's gonna be moments where you're going to doubt, but this courageous lion will always be there. Will always be there whispering to you. So listen to that voice rather to these past voices that were trying to bring you down, because they realized how bright you shined and they didn't want to let go of you. They didn't want you to they didn't want you to leave them, right? Because they wanted to keep you for their own. But it's time for you to shine bright on your own, because you can. Okay, so the last card that we have, it's like healing for you, healing medicine for you. And this is Henry Matisse. This is the artist, and we have the first message is in regards to life. Unleash the beast within. The second is in terms of work, productivity, even in pajamas. And the third message is in regards to inspiration. Sketch boldly and paint with a big stick. Do not be afraid of your creativity. Do not fear your passion for what you do, because it is beautiful. You know how like not everyone discovers their passion. It's something that some people seek for an entire lifetime, and some don't find it. So that in itself is a great gift. Don't let anybody shun it. Yeah, and do not give up. Be always working for your dream. Okay? You are courageous. Now let's look at the charms. So this is to get specific dates or important dates in terms of your career, finances. So let's see what falls on the velvet sky. One, two, three. Okay. We have 4. We have the letter Q, but we have another number. We have 8 and 4. Okay. So this might be a specific month or a specific date. It might be significant to you, but I'm actually seeing like 8 months. And I'm not gonna lie to you, I'm actually feeling years as well, like probably 4 years. And I know it's horrible to say, but it's not to bring you down or to unmotivate you, because it's like, if it is an artistic journey, remember that takes time, right? And again, I don't know what success means to you. So maybe your idea of success is something that does take a while to obtain. So that's why it's coming out in years for me. But remember, that's something that's built that slowly, and that with that truth, following your heart, and it's something that you're passionate about, is something that's going to be worthwhile, especially if it's coming directly from you now, especially of that. Okay? So that's what I have for you guys. And also, I feel like there might be some struggles along the way, but I feel like whenever you feel like things are falling, or you feel like you're gonna give up, you're gonna be blessed with something, because spirit, you see how many spirit stars we have here? They're looking after you, so they will always be providing you with the support, with the tools that you need to move on forward. Okay? And now one last message for you guys. And this could be like motivational quote, direct message from spirits. Dun, 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 dun. Ooh, okay. It says listen to your intuition and what's coming through, because it's guidance. Okay? You have the courage, you have it in you. Okay, so that's all I have for you guys. I hope this brought some guidance, some clarity. If you resonated with this reading, then please do leave a like or a comment. I just like listening to you guys. And also, if you want a personal reading, all the information is in the description box down below. Thank you so much for watching, and until the next moment, bye bye.